Back here at Volleyball Central, as we call it, the arena in San Juan City for the live coverage of the UAP on Studio 23, the starting 6 on your screens from both schools. Really not much surprises there for both Coach Dulce and both Coach Dulce and Coach Roger for Adamson and Ateneo respectively. FEU winning today against UP, and then of course the big game tomorrow, UST versus Lasala, the main offering of our Valentine's Day presentation. But when you look at things, the more important game is really this one.
Yes.
In terms of placements. Dahil we're all booked already for the Final Four.
Yep.
Lahat na ng pasahero, nandyan na. Yung ano na lang, pwestuhan na lang sa upuan.
That's right. And actually, this game is the much-awaited game. Dahil yun nga, like what we mentioned earlier, Lasal has pretty much locked the number 1 spot. Ganun din ang UST. But for the 3rd and 4th place, ito yung matagal ng pinaglalabanan itong dalawang teams na to.
Sinong maglalaban? Sinong magpa-match up? We will find out after this game. Much awaited, much anticipated. We're happy to have you with us on a Saturday afternoon, and the crowd is raring to go as Ateneo serves here in the first set. We are underway, and Pao Soriano right away with the attack. Gervasio, the first option for Ateneo, obviously. Angela Benting goes over the blockers and no check ball. So first point, a predominant Ateneo crowd, I would believe here.
It's hard to tell because they're both blue.
Oh, mahirap sabihin.
But then it's interesting. I'm looking at the best diggers in this season. It's actually the number 1 best digging team against the number 2. So number 1 is Adamson, number 2 is Ateneo.
And one of the reasons why Adamson is number 1, if not the main reason, is Leslie Angata is on that team, who is the best digger and best receiver individually. Cara Acevedo is the only non-libero, who is in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. And Ateneo getting a start. A great adjustment by the veteran Bea Pascual on her first attack, 2 serving 0. Soriano, who loves to look at open spots. Pascual trying to swipe it away, but Gata was there for coverage. Benting. Ferrer, who always loves to confuse the opponent. Benting, no blockers there. Acevedo sends it to Jan. Gervasio set up with the outside. 3 points for Ateneo, the start that they want against this dangerous Lady Falcons team. Let's go back to our 3rd member of the broadcast team, Jessica Mendoza, reporting for Ateneo. Hello, Jet.
Boom, Anne was absolutely right when she said earlier that the Lady Eagles are excited for the Final Four. I mean, Bea Pascual's face actually lit up when I asked her about it. And in fact, the rest of the team showed no trace of fear. Now, a little Valentine's Day tidbit before the game really gets going. The white and red shirts that the girls wore at the start of their warm-up are actually their pre-Valentine's Day gimmick. Each of them came up with a creative way to complete the phrase, will you? One said, will you program my heart? While another said, will you play my game? And for all the interested fans out there, 6 of these lovely ladies are already taken while the rest are single and ready to mingle. Ann?
That phrase sounds familiar. Jessica?
I'm sure a lot of people were actually very much interested to hear that report from Jessica.
Here's the thing. Well, number 1, Anne is always correct. Number 2, bahala na kayo manghula kung sino.
Yung taken.
And don't ask us about Jessica either, please. Okay? We are not in that service.
We can't give out any information.
Now, that's not what we do around here. And Ateneo off to a hot start, 4 serving 2. Ferrer going to her jump serve. Angela trying to look for that spot. Ball is still alive. Send it to the back zone. That's very smart. But it's still a rally here. Ferrer opens up. Gervasio with a power tip.
You see, so far what I've noticed is that both teams are actually going for drop balls. A lot of drop balls, a lot of placements.
That's good for Zia Gervasio because you don't see that often. She usually just powers it through. Now starting to really work the net.
Overreaching called on Soriano.
Yep.
That was very aggressive actually of her.
Too aggressive. Got to give the setter a chance to set up the ball. And the setter is right on your screen. Jam Fidel. Just looking at her earlier during the warm-ups, and I was wondering whether she was sick or whether she was trying to negate an injury, but she looks well. 3 serving 6. Fidel quickly to Bea Pascual.
Bea very lucky today, scoring almost in all of the attempts.
Okay, let's go back to your statement, Anne, as we look at this replay. At the pregame, you're talking about Bea Pascual saying that they legitimately enter the Final Four. To explain that for people who are unaware of the history of Ateneo making the Final Four in season 17.
This is actually the second appearance of Ateneo in the Final Four, but then I guess the reason why this is sweeter than the first time was because they became part of the Final Four because LaSalle was actually, out of...
they forfeited
a
few games.
At a loss for words. Their games were forfeited, that's right.
All right, we'll explain more on that and expound more on that when we come back. 8-3 is the score. We'll be back. Back here at the arena in San Juan, Zihervasio powering that one through, putting it away. Lizzie Angata actually had a hand on that, but just couldn't save it. 8-3 is the score. Angela Benting through the blockers, gets a point. Going back to what Ann was mentioned prior to the break, in season 70, 2 years ago, in the last year of Charo Soriano, who was the face of the Ateneo Lady Eagles, they made the Final Four. Partly their doing because they performed okay, good enough, and then partly because LaSalle forfeited a few games because of student and academic situation.
That's right.
So they got elevated into the Final Four. That's Charo on your screens, who was part of that team who made the Final Four for the very first time in the school's history. And then last year, Coach Roger took over. The recruits came in. They challenged for the 4th spot last year, but just came up short. At Adamson a tad better than them last year. As we see a violation here. So it is Adamson point, actually. And Adamson didn't know that they actually scored a point there.
Yeah, because they thought it was poor defense on their part.
So this year, Ateneo, most wins in their history at 9-4. Here's that violation.
There was.
Wow. A hairline. Inlog finding a spot. Kainglet diving, but nobody else was there. And Adamson catching up. 4 straight points for them. Coach Rogers shouldn't be happy about this.
Mas matay na yung bola bago natin maiisip eh. Kailangan mabilis kayong umadjust sa galawan dun sa loob. Hindi po pwede ko sa kayo nakatayo. Sayang yung naman natin, nauubos oh. Napatay bang tuloy ako ng maaga nito. Kasayang kasi yung lamang eh, nawawala eh. Basta umadjust dun yung block, adjust ka rin kaagad. Tapos blockin nyo guys, pag pumapalo ka, huwag kang magmamadali. Hindi mo pwede isuswing ng direct. Tignan mo yung layo ng
Coach Roger,